Dale Lane in Baxter. I'm here on behalf of my mother-in-law, Billy Lindgren, who lives on the adjoining property. Billy's grandparents came to the area in the 1890s, homesteaded the area, and my daughter, Elsa, will be the 5th generation on that property with 130 years behind her. And I hope that my daughter and her cousins can keep that going. I worked as a construction company as a project manager and have dealt with these things, and this has been probably the most frustrating one I've ever been through. I hope you've had time to read our comment letter and the responses. Our letter tried to bring attention to parts of the EAW that were not answered. This worksheet should be filled out and answer the items listed. Our letter asks for more information, and often this was not given, and not all items were addressed. One specific example is item 10B that asks about land use and includes zoning. We asked for all the relative zoning ordinances and required variances to be listed. The items about zoning were not answered. We are also concerned the project is presented as a residential PUD, however, it was proposed as a commercial PUD. And the requirements for these two types of PUDs are different. The two differences include density evaluations and how sewage is handled, which is tremendously important to everybody on the lake and would be to you if it was your lake. The county board should consider eliminating any reference in response to comments and the findings that this project meets all zoning requirements, because there is a likelihood that variances will be required. Another point I'd like to bring up is many times in the response to comments, there is a statement that says, independent review was done by licensed professional engineering consultants, WSB. WSB does have engineers. However, Allison Harwood worked with the county for this review. Ms. Harwood is not an engineer. I would ask that the board verify licensed engineers reviewed these plans. If there is a contract between WSB and Aitkin County, were engineering services specifically listed? If the county is referencing these engineers in response to comments, we request to know specifically which licensed engineers worked on the review. A lot has changed on the lake in the last 10 years, and it's nice to see the community come together on this. We have not objected to people building their family space out here, but this is a tremendously different type of land use. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Are there any other comments, requests from visitors this morning? Third and last call for citizens' public comment requests from visitors. Hearing none, we'll proceed to the consent agenda, of which motion would be in order.
So moved, Chair.
Motion approving the consent agenda by Commissioner Carney, support.
Second.
Motion supported by Commissioner Westerland. Discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll call the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Consent agenda is hereby approved. On to Land Commissioner Dennis Thompson. Welcome, Dennis.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I had just a handout here, and I was hoping I would have it earlier so that it could be in your packet, but just some of the fun stuff up on the radio line.
You ran out of ink.
I know.
The Raby line's running out
Oh
of
my
dirt.
goodness. What good is the bridge if you want to take the puddle?
So what we were looking at would be a non-budgeted expense approval from the Concon account. So the Raby line, which connects in with the Blandon Trail, runs from Hill City over to Jacobson, goes through quite a bit of swamp. When they put that trail in, or it was actually old rail grade, a lot of corduroy was put down into the swamp, and then the fabric, and then the fill that was put on that. And what we're seeing right now is that corduroy is deteriorating, and much of the fill is sinking into that swamp. We actually had some closures on the east end of the trail last year. On the west end of the trail this year, with some of the earlier storms, we had some major washouts and we had some trail closures right around the 4th of July, which was not an ideal time to have trail closures. So what we're looking at here is a transfer from the Concon account into the Parks account to help repair the damage that's done on this trail. We do get grant and aid money for this trail for maintenance. However, it has the amount of material and the amount of work that is needed on this trail has significantly surpassed what is available from the grant and aid program. So
How much do you already have in it?
from the grant and aid, I think about 12 to 15,000 in it already right now. So we have our Concon account, which this area does fit into, fits into that definition. This is in the Concon area. For 2026, we had budgeted an income of roughly $372,000. Our expenses were $317,000. So we had actually over $50,000 that we were actually adding to that balance of that account. So with the $20,000 transfer, we would still see an increase into that account balance. For 2027, looking at some of the preliminary numbers, we will be dipping into the fund balance for 2027, but it's still going to sit roughly in that $450,000 range, which policy by county board has set a minimum balance in there of $280,000. So we are certainly well within those parameters. So, and with that, like I said, the handout is just pictures from what we're seeing. So beaver issues last year or the end of fall in 2025. We had some guy on a pickup truck try to drive across one of our four-wheeler bridges. So he was apprehended and is paying restitution for it. But it's just it's a tough trail to maintain. So, and with that, if anybody had any questions, I would certainly answer them. But yeah, like I said, at this time, looking for a motion to approve a non-budget transfer from the Concon into the parks for repairs on the Raby ATV trail, Raby line.
Commissioners?
I have a question.
Commissioner Westerland.
Were these recent pictures?
Yes, these
Oh.
are all from this year.
And it's so dry out, so, I mean, it's still pretty wet here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner LaVisca.
So with the repairs you'd be looking at here, as mentioned, it'd be much more than a Band-Aid, but what would be kind of the life expectancy of any repairs that you would plan?
We're looking for 20,000 this year and then another 15,000 next year that we would budget. And we're hoping that would do it for a very long time.
Okay.
So what we're doing now is we're bringing material in because of the trail. It's actually what's called a track hauler that will run down the ATV trail. Holds about 3 yards of material, dumps it, and then we'll have a local contractor with a dozer that then spreads that out and packs it down. So.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Sample?
what are we doing about the beaver issue?
The beaver issue, we are trapping them and blasting dams as soon as we see them. And that was one of the issues that we saw on the east end of the trail last year, is some beaver issues. And we have, I'm not sure if there's a local trapper that is in there now, but I know there's a series of dams in there that are on the list to be blasted. So as soon as it's kind of whack-a-mole with the beavers. As soon as the dams pop up, we blast them, and then they're rebuilding somewhere else. But
Commissioner Carney?
Is that, when you say we, are you working along with Roads and Bridges on that?
no, that's our department.
That's
We have,
ours.
Yep.
Okay.
We have 2 licensed blasters in our office.
Cool,
So
thank you.
Barring any other questions, you've heard the request. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Westerland.
Support.
Motion supported by Commissioner Sample. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so.
DJ, and good
Yep.
luck.
Thank you so much, and we'll probably put it in the next, board agenda for that official transfer.
Okay.
Appreciate the focus on trails.
Yes, thank you.
On to County Assessor Mike Dangers. Welcome, Mike.
Morning, Mike.
All right. Today, the item that I have for you is the Enbridge property tax appeal. So Enbridge Pipelines is appealing their valuation on the Line 3 pipeline within, not just within Aitkin County, but throughout the state. So with that, after the completion of the Line 3 pipeline, they're the largest taxpayer within Aitkin County. So, and their valuation is set by Department of Revenue staff. It's a state assessed property. So when they have when any utility company has a question about their value, they can have an administrative appeal with the state of Minnesota. And if that isn't brought to a resolution, then they have the option to go to tax court. So, and that's what they have done in this case. So in a case like this, the Attorney General's office represents the state of Minnesota in tax court, and they have a situation where we don't get a lot of detailed information about the case. So we're coming to you today along with other counties and other districts around northern Minnesota to try to look at this op-ed piece that was drafted by Marshall County Auditor Treasurer Scott Peters, and he's hoping to have many of the jurisdictions along the pipeline sign on to this. And so unless this case is settled without going to trial, it's anticipated it could take years to resolve. And as time goes on with it not being resolved, there's interest that builds up on that balance if the resolution is favorable to Enbridge. So looking at a rough estimate of what it would cost the county just with a 1 year refund of their 16% value reduction, we're looking at $292,600. That doesn't include the school district or any other jurisdictions along, in our areas. So we're just looking at, requesting a motion to have the county board chair sign the op-ed as a show of support.
Commissioner Sample?
Does this happen every year with Enbridge?
Not there was a time when it seemed like every year, but now in recent years it's been less often. They did change the process at the state to make it easier for an administrative appeal to be had, or so that they could avoid going to court, so we wouldn't have these situations. But it still does happen, of course.
Well, I mean, the problem I have is we have this big budget shortfall that they're dropping on the county boards to make up. And so they want to raise everybody's taxes. And Enbridge they got lots of money. They can take this to court.
Right.
What about our people?
Right, yeah.
And
exactly.
You mean to tell me that we're talking about tax money that comes to this county that we put in our budget, that we have no say or no knowledge of what's going on in that?
That's the way it's set up with, because we're not a party to the case, technically.
But
It's
we
the
are,
state.
if the money comes to the taxpayers of this county. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. And I'm a dumb country boy, and it's hard for me to understand how our largest tax base taxpayer coming in, we don't have any say or any knowledge of this because it's all done at the state. Okay,
Right.
maybe that's some legislation that we need to put on talk to our,
Commissioner Carney?
Yeah, could you pull up the request that he has on the screen, please? I want to see what is the
Here's a hard.
the terms of the op-ed. Thank you.
Just a point of information. Are cities, school districts, townships on board with this? Are they taking any action? I mean, they've got a horse in this race too, don't they?
Yeah, as part of this process we're going through, there's a group of counties that have gotten together and we've had Scott Peters here from Marshall County write this, and they are requesting school districts, townships,
Okay.
and cities to sign on to this as well at
Okay.
this stage of the process. And they're hoping to have this completed sometime in the middle of August.
Okay.
Is my understanding. So it's not just the counties that are
Right.
involved. Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Just touch, I was on a call with AMC, with Matt Hilgart, with the General Government Committee, and they're obviously keeping a close eye on this and working with it, and they that's where I had first heard of this op-ed, and I knew that it was gonna come before the board, and it's just a kind of a way to get it publicly out there, and it was mentioned, Enbridge came to the counties and said, give us your support, we'll take care of you, but then they want to turn around and then, do things like this. So I think it's important that public information get out. And at the same time, I think the last time they had a settlement, the state ended up covering it, which is what obviously general government's gonna push for this time, because Department of Revenue sets their valuation, and that's what was appealed last time, I believe, was their overall valuation. Now, this time, they're looking for a credit from MPCA, I believe it is. It's a pollution control credit. So if MPCA gives these credits, MPCA should be funding these credits, and that's what we'll be pushing for.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Commissioner LaVista, this is the problem I have. Is if the state gives them the money, gives the county the money to help offset this, money just don't grow on trees. Still comes from the tax base. I just have a hard time. It's like, oh, we'll prorate this, then we'll give all of these millions of dollars to be divided up amongst these counties to help offset what the counties are paying. But the people in the county are still paying in their taxes because we don't sell a widget.
Well, they gotta recoup the funnies somewhere.
Mr. Chair,
Dave?
just to follow up on maybe the political aspect of this process, because of the system that's set up, as Mike outlines, the counties are really bystanders. And there's a lot of uncertainty. That last settlement with Enbridge that was arrived at in 2020 or 2021 was about a $30 million statewide settlement. Aitkin County's share was just over $90,000 of that. Newer technologies like wind and solar generate a production tax. So there's no estimating of value. It's an actual calculation based on data. Some couple of years ago, the Department of Revenue had floated some ideas of trying to look at alternative ways to measure the utilities using, I think it was a gross revenue tax, maybe. I don't remember the details. But I've had conversation with Matt Hilgart on, is it time that, because when that happened, the counties were not supportive generally because it looked like it would result in a reduction of revenue. But there ought to be a way to maintain revenue neutrality. And so going forward, it seems like counties, cities, school districts, everybody who's impacted needs to maybe work on finding alternative ways of what is equitable for these pipeline companies to pay in property taxes.
Good point.
Mr. Chair? So Mike, that 47.2 million in value. Is that just the county's portion without the township and the schools and the cities, or is that the total amount?
That would be the total value reduction that they're asking for,
Okay.
which would then impact not only
All
the
the-
county,
yep,
but all the
yep.
other jurisdictions, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Not that it's okay, it's not.
right, it's a huge hit, definitely.
They make the rules and
Commissioner Sample?
include us.
Well, and it's kind of like Dave said, our cut was 90,000 out of 30 million or whatever. My problem is
90,000.
our taxpayers are paying that 30 million. I mean, I don't understand.
Right.
And who benefits from the that pipeline? How far does that go? I mean,
Yeah.
does the metro, is
It,
it the whole state that's included, or just the counties where the pipeline is? So,
yeah, it's the counties where the pipeline
Right.
is located. yeah.
so maybe we could share it with everybody, all 87 counties. They have to benefit somehow,
Yeah.
don't
Just-
they?
Well,
Just-
to
just
Commissioner
another
Sample's
un-
point,
Yeah.
Yeah, and most counties have state assessed property in them because it's utilities, it's railroads. and
Correct, yeah.
are there
By
others,
lines.
Mike?
Yeah, electric transmission lines, yeah,
gas companies.
exactly, yeah.
Well, Commissioners, you've heard the request.
I move to support the op-ed.
Okay, motion on the floor, approving the request by Commissioner LaVisca, discussion, or support?
Support.
Commissioner Sample supports, any discussion? Just a question, Scott Peters, does Marshall County have a big interest in this? I was just curious why he was,
Right, it's my understanding that they do. There are certain counties in that part of the state where a very large percentage of their tax base is paid by Enbridge.
Right.
In some cases, it could be half or more of their taxes.
yeah. He would be a good one to head things up there. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion's carried.
Thank you.
Good luck, keep us posted.
I'd like to have a conversation with you, Mike, about this.
On to County Engineer John Welly. Welcome, John.
Morning, John.
Thank you. Good morning. You recall, I think it was late last year that I started discussion with you about changing a number of county road numbers, basically changing our county state aid highway system, which routes were on that system, and then designating other routes, removing them from state aid highways to county roads. So, that whole discussion happened through a series of meetings last year. I think the final resolutions were passed in December. It took a little bit longer than I thought to get everything approved through the state, to get the commissioner's orders. And then once that happened, it took a little while longer to coordinate with 2 MnDOT districts to actually get the signage done. So I think it was just last month in June that all the signage actually finally got changed. So all of that has just recently got completed. But earlier this year, I was approached by the Cass County engineer, and he asked if we would be interested in removing the county state aid highway designation of County Road 20. And it was unfortunate that that request hadn't come a few months earlier, so we could have just included it with our other process, but the timing, it is what it is. So when he asked the question, if we wouldn't have had a route that we could swap, an equal mileage route, it would have been a pretty quick answer that, we don't have 5.9 miles of a county road that we want to make into a state aid highway to make an even swap. You recall that from our discussion last year, we can change the routes on our county state aid highway system as long as we don't increase our county state aid highway system size. We could also reduce it, but we don't want to do that because then we get less allocation from state aid. So the goal is, that if you're going to change county state aid highway routes, you almost have to have a nearly equal swap. And like I said, when it was proposed to or when it was asked if we would be interested in removing the county state aid highway designation from 5.9 miles of county state aid highway 20. If we had not had 5.9 miles, I would have simply answered, we don't have 5.9 miles. But as it turns out, we do have a segment that was considered in our previous process. It just wasn't recommended in the final action that we did last year. But we have a couple of roads. It starts out as County Road 50 now. It was just 5, County Road 5 prior to last year's changes. Starts at Highway 47 in Rossburg, goes north to County Road 56, and then it turns west to go to 169. That entire segment is 5.9 miles. It's entirely county road. Now, after the changes, it's County Road 50 and 56. County Road 50, just for information, I think it was probably about 7 or 8 years back, we took that over as a township road. It used to be a Spencer Township road. But that road does get a lot of traffic because it is kind of a cut across between State Highways 47 and 169. So that was the reason we took it over. We did a swap with Spencer Township at the time to take it over as a county road, and now with this request from Cass County, if we were to entertain the request, that would be the route that would make sense to swap. County Road 20, it's a state aid highway, but it doesn't fit real well on the state aid highway system. It's one of those roads that just meanders east and west and north and south, kind of providing access to all the private property through there. But I would say there's very few people that use County Road 20 to get anywhere other than property along the roadway, just because it meanders. It's more of a local road. County Road 50 and 56, on the other hand, there are a lot of the traffic on those roads is actually going through from Highway 47 to 169. So it makes it a good county state aid highway route if we were interested in doing that swap. I should have mentioned earlier that the reason Cass County was asking us to change the designation is that our state aid highway 20 turns into Cass state aid highway 57 at the county line. They want to change their designation. They want to put their state aid highway miles on a higher volume route, but in order to do that, we also have to do it. We can't. The entire state aid route between the two counties has to be changed. One county can't just do the change in their own county. So that's why they asked if we were interested. I don't know the exact date, but I know at some point in the past I had asked Cass County that same question, as we were looking at making changes in our system. I had asked them if they were interested in, changing their state aid designation on 57, and at the time the answer was no. But, years later, I guess, they relooked at their system and they now would like to do basically what we did last year, change their state aid highway system, trying to get their state aid miles on their higher state aid routes to gain a higher allocation. So, I know on the board memo, I said, possibly schedule a public meeting if we're interested in doing this. I want to revise that. I think that would be premature at this point. All I'm really trying to do is gauge, are we at all interested in this? And if we are, I'll relay that message to Cass County, and then I'll basically just wait on Cass County on their process, because their process is going to take longer. It's more involved with more routes. Or if we're not at all interested, I'll relay that message as well. But there's no need to proceed to scheduling a public input meeting. I think it's just basically discussion to see if it's something that we're interested in or not. As I said in a memo, there's basically two reasons that we should consider being interested in it. The way the county state aid highway needs formula work, it's a very complicated series of formulas, but to put it in simple terms, the more traffic you have on your road, the more state aid money you're going to get annually. County Road 20 up there has less than 100 cars a day. County Road 50 and 56 have between 100 and 200. That puts them in different categories as far as the needs calculation is concerned. So if County Road 50 and 56 were on our state aid highway system rather than County Road 20, we would gain probably an estimated $26,000 in annual state aid allocation. So, I mean, it's not a lot, but it adds up over the years. The other reason that we'd consider it is that if you look at our priority list for, making improvements to our county road segments, improving them from unimproved gravel roads to, improved paved roads, County Road 50 and 56 are currently the number 4 priority on that list. County Road 20 is way down the list at, I think, number 18. And number 4, even at the number 4 priority, doesn't mean that those improvements are going to happen anytime soon, probably not in the next 10 years. But at the point where they were being considered for improvements, it would be beneficial at that time to have those routes as state aid highways, to be able to use our state aid dollars to improve those routes as opposed to our property taxes. The same reason that we redesignated County Road 51 to County State Aid Highway 42, because we are anticipating that's our top priority segment at this time that isn't on the program. So we do anticipate that segment being reconstructed in the near future, and when it does, we'll be able to use state aid highway funds on it rather than straight property tax dollars. The same would be true of County Road 50 and 56. So I guess with that, I'm just looking for discussion and direction on what response to give to Cass County.
So commissioners, on a consensus basis, is this something you want to pursue?
Well, and my whole thing is, John, you're the county engineer, and the things that you just put out, to me, makes this a no-brainer. Trust in your judgment. I mean, to me, if they're gonna redo the road possibly, and it adds more revenue, better to us.
So commissioners, do we have a consensus to proceed?
Yeah, I
Yes.
just have one question.
Yeah, Commissioner?
Is the state gonna raise any flags or ask any questions as to why, okay, you just took this off your state aid system and now you're gonna put it back on? Would that raise any flags with them? Or?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that 1 mile of County Road 5 that just changed from County Road 5 to County Road 50, and now it would potentially change to County Road 20 back on the state aid system.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that sequence of events happened, mainly for the public, because I'm sure I'm going to get questioned from them about it. But I don't think the state will question it. I mean, I think they may question it, but there's, it's a logical answer. Just that, this was one process and this was a separate process.
Right.
The two weren't at all connected. I guess in hindsight, maybe I should have called Derek last December and, just said, has anything changed with County Road 20?
Oh,
But,
it would have been kind
I
of a
didn't
random
do that.
ask, but yeah, no.
As long as, like, the people in Wellthwood, it used to be County Road 51, or Township 51, switched over to 42. I get all these calls. Why is there a big blue 42 sign? I said, well, just think the county's gonna take it over. It's gonna be a much better road. Now you'll have reliable people who have the time and effort to maintain that road, because it's been horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't a township road, it was county road. but
county
yeah,
road,
we took it over as
51,
a state
and then
highway.
now it's
And
a-
yeah, we got those questions as well. The other thing you might be noticing, I should just mention this, and it's not at all related to the action that we're taking, but you'll see that a lot of our road signs are changing from the white signs with black lettering to blue signs with yellow lettering. So you'll see that around the county. Our entire state aid highway system is being re-signed that way. That's the result of changes made at the state and federal levels to the state and federal uniform manual on traffic signing. They basically mandated in the
It's
latest
another
update that was
mandate that
approved
we-
earlier this year that the county state aid highway system in Minnesota has to have blue signs with yellow numbers, so we're in the process of making those changes as well, and that's generating some phone
Are they
calls.
changing the state?
Sure, they sent the money to
Signs?
do
No.
that too.
That's
No, the state signs are the same as they have.
How much money did they send us to make
Yeah.
those changes?
It was not a funded mandate, so
Right.
we'll just have to
just leave it.
fund that on our own, and it is
That
a
was an
significant
assumption.
amount of money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
Probably gonna
Surprise.
cost $20,000 to $30,000
Yep.
to make those changes.
Yeah.
So is there a consensus to pursue?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you have a unanimous consensus.
Okay,
on this,
I will
John.
relay that message, and I guess at the point when Cass County, if and when they want to proceed, I'll bring this back to the board. It may
Yeah.
be, soon. It may not be for a long time. It may be never. So, thank you.
Thanks,
You
Sean.
bet. Then you've got the MnDOT detour agreement.
Is that on the consent agenda?
No, it's right now.
Oh, okay. I meant to get up here for the start of the meeting, but I wasn't able to make it. So, yeah, the detour agreement, I didn't bring any information on it. Typically, you know, these detour agreements are nothing new to us. I think this is the third one this year with all of the construction going on state highways that affect our county roads. What's different about this one is that they typically propose these detour agreements, or get us the detour agreements months before the actual work is happening. This one, the work is starting next week, and the detour agreement only came to me last Friday, which is why I didn't schedule it. But if it's been added to the agenda, I guess we're basically just asking for the standard resolution to authorize me to enter into that agreement.
Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the attached resolution.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Carney approving the agreement. Support? Support. Motion supported. Commissioner Sample, any discussion?
I have a question.
Commissioner Westerlund?
So how long is this detour?
I think it's 12 days, if my memory serves
Well, I
me
mean,
correctly.
like mileage wise or?
10 miles,
10 miles.
just under 10 miles of our
And
County
they-
Road
they're
3.
getting that, we're getting that much money?
Whatever it
About
was,
$1,500?
$1,500 or something
That's a
like that.
It's
lot.
on page 2 there.
Well, I know, I see it, but it's a lot for MnDOT.
It'll pay for some signs, yeah.
Further discussion, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Hi.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. On to environmental services.
Morning, Andrew.
Andrew Carlson,
Yes.
welcome, Andrew.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
And if I may just point something out, there's 4 items here. And the way it's presented on the agenda, these can all be taken under one motion unless there's dissent. Just like consent agenda.
Roger.
You get the concept?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll go through everything and then call for a motion again. Unless somebody wants one of the items pulled because of dissent, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Okay. Well, Commissioners, today the title of the item is Consideration and Reaffirmation of the Elm Island Lake RV Park and the discretionary EAW decision and EAW that was done by the proposer that we required last July of 2025. The summary of the issue is on July 14th, the Aitkin County Board of Commissioners determined that an EIS, an environmental impact statement for the Elm Island RV Park, was not required. The justification for this determination is contained in the attached record of decision. The record of decision dated June 24th also contained the responses to all substantive written comments received on the EAW during the 30-day public review comment period. On July 16th, I was made aware that one written public comment letter was overlooked and thus not included with the other 13 public comments. So that was never reviewed by the EAW Review Committee. To ensure the required review of all substantive comments, we met again, eight of the internal EAW Review Committee assembled on July 21st. Reviewed the last letter and their comments have been added to this record of decision, which is titled the Committee's Findings of Facts, Conclusion and Order dated July 21st. Those are in red. Of the first part there, the findings of facts. In accordance with Minnesota Rule 4410, the EAW Review Committee's recommendation is that the plan as proposed does not significantly increase impact to the environment and that an EIS is not required. So we're looking for that reaffirmation of the decision that was made on July 14th. At this time, I'm requesting to reopen the June 24th record of decision. This will allow you to review and discuss all written comments again. The letter written by Terry McCool and Billy Lindgren that was initially overlooked. So that's at the end there, and we can go over that. In the event of a negative board decision to require an EIS, I'm requesting a motion to approve the record of decision as amended and adopt the proposed resolution as amended. So with that, I'll kind of go over a little bit, if that's okay, Mr. Chair. How
Yeah,
you-
commissioners, again, the way it's presented, we can do it collectively all in one motion, but you would still have the option of acting individually.
Mr. Chair, I got a question. for you.
Commissioner Sample.
What we decide here today is still has to go through the conditional use committee before it comes back to us to approve anything, right?
That is correct.
The planning commission.
It has to go through, thank you, the planning commission first, and then it comes back to us before the final decision's made.
Yes, sir. Yeah, all we're looking for is a reaffirmation today of,
open
that the EAW Review Committee has looked at this, compared the criteria of Minnesota Rules 4410.1700, that this is not, as proposed, gonna cause significant environmental effects.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner LaVisca?
and just to reiterate again, this changes nothing barring our previous decision if we make the same decision. It's all the same. It's still gonna go through all the same processes. We're still gonna have MPCA and MND&R looking at a lot of the, reviewing a lot of the information and giving their input.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I'd move to reaffirm the decision.
So, we'll be doing this individually as opposed to collective and all four.
What's that?
And I think the way it's setting up is you would have two actions, right, Andrew? There would be this affirmation of the decision or reaffirmation of the decision and then adopting the resolution.
Yes, sir, two actions.
So I moved reaffirmation.
Okay, motion on the floor to set effect by Commissioner LaVisca. Is there support?
I'll support.
Motion supported by Commissioner Carney. Discussion. And again, let's clarify, Dave, what this motion is.
The reaffirmation.
Yeah, of the finding of, Andrew, help me with the language.
EAW committee's
Yes, the findings of fact of the EAW Review Committee dated July 21st, 2026.
Okay, further discussion? We'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Now we
Right.
vote for a motion to adopt the amended resolution. Is that what it is?
Yes, yes, so the second motion would be to request to adopt the amended resolution that has the substantive comments from this additional
Right.
letter that was written.
Is there a motion on the floor to that effect?
I'll make a motion.
Motion to set effect, Commissioner Westerland, support.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Sample. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioners.
I have a question. So
Yes.
now that you have this, it goes to the planning commission?
Yes, yes. And
And at the
also,
planning commission, they'll be able to ask their questions to get answered.
yes, correct, correct. It most likely, it will go through a variance as well.
Well, then that's my question.
Yes.
that This isn't a done deal.
No, this has got a long ways to go yet.
Okay.
Long.
Yes,
Thanks, Andrew.
yes. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Now, will these letters be reheard at the planning commission? And the
Yes,
variance?
they'll be included for the members, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
On to economic development. Mark Jeffers, welcome, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, I've got two items on the agenda today. We'll try and be brief for you. The first one, the Economic Development Committee has reviewed additional revitalization grant applications. And the majority of the committee recommends that we approve the three that we have listed on here. If we take a look at the first one, Farm Island Repair and Marine, down down Farm Island, that makes sense. They've got a large project going on. They're rebuilding or building a new showroom. And they were looking for some help and support from some signage. So it's a $2 million project, and they're looking for just some support for some signage. I think it's viable to do. And our recommendation is to approve that. Also, the Aitkin County DAC is doing some new signage for their downtown facility, the DAC Works, or the DAC Mart.
DAC Mart.
Downtown, they're doing some things with that. And also Aitkin Hardwoods out on the west side of town, looking to take advantage of our support to do some signage and new signage on the highway for them. So looking for approval of the Economic Development Committee's recommendation for these 3 grant awards.
Commissioners, you've heard the request.
Go ahead.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve all 3 by Commissioner Westerland. Support.
Support.
Motion supported. Commissioner LaBisca. Discussion.
I have a couple questions.
Commissioner Sample?
How much money do we have in
I
that?
was just gonna say,
In that
just
account.
left.
We have, we still have about $98,000. In September 9th, the board approved $50,000 to be moved aside for that. And we're nearing the end of it. But we still have additional dollars set aside for future grants that we have not put into play at this point.
Okay, that was my first question. My second question to you is, how many did we turn down?
We've turned down a total of 6 so far, and we've accepted, I think this is the 11th one that we've accepted. So
So a follow-up to that would be, I know that we had some concerns that HRA had requested. I just want it stated for the record why we said no. If you could do that.
yeah, well, the reasoning behind saying no is that what they were doing was on what would technically be county properties, that they, Aitkin County HRA, maybe not affiliated with the county, but it's still county city type properties. The difference between that and the DAC is that this one is going directly to their retail outlet. So it's a little bit different. I know it gets confusing when it says Aitkin County DAC, but from the building standpoint and where it's located and what it's for, it fits into the guidelines where HRA did not fit into those guidelines.
Could you send a copy of them guidelines to her, please?
Yes, yep. I've sent emails explaining that as well to
But
Teresa.
send her a
but-
copy of the guidelines, please.
Okay, we'll do that for sure.
Because I had a couple questions with the DAC and with HRA, and I was like, well, I don't have the guidelines with me.
Yep. I'll send those over to her right after this.
Thank you.
You bet.
Is there a motion?
You had one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Get confounded here. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Jefferson Lines.
Yeah, second item
news.
is Jefferson Lines, bus line is looking to apply, state of Minnesota, to receive federal grants to set up intercity bus service between Duluth and Brainerd, which would eventually have stops in Aitkin and McGregor. So they're looking for a letter of support to be able to do some grant funding requests and having a intercity bus line coming through our area.
What about Hill City?
What about, I'm looking at the picture here. What about Hill
Duluth.
City? Hill City runs right straight through 169 to
Duluth,
two.
Cloquet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going around Hill City, but
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, motion of approval. Commissioner Sample, support.
I'll support.
Commissioner Carney supports.
65.
Questions?
Commissioner Westerland.
So they're just going to the cities, right? They're going to the Cloquet City, McGregor City, Aitkin City, and Brainerd City. How many buses will there be?
It's not determined at this time. This is just
Okay,
to
a
get
letter
the
of support.
application in, letter of support for
Because
them
our
to
problem
put in
is the
grants.
outstate areas.
Yeah,
It's got nothing to do with the cities. They have Arrowhead Transit.
Mm-hmm.
They got it all. And we've tried to do the care thing, and
yeah.
it's a bad deal what the state's
Hope we
doing,
get this in.
cutting all these
Agreed, yeah. It's-
transportation entities that would help us.
Yeah, and they haven't discussed any of those details at this time, so.
Do they not already come through Aitkin? I see
They come through, but they don't stop.
They used to.
they used to stop
Flyby.
at City Hall.
Yeah, they don't stop now.
And they thought they made a stop at roadside for a while too.
That's a long
checked
time
Long
ago.
time ago.
That was
But-
Greyhound.
Up until
think
not that
so.
long ago, they were stopping at City Hall.
Yeah, they don't have a regular stop is what I understand. I did ask
Okay.
Michelle that question, but
This is all new, but
Yeah.
any further discussion?
Staff Sergeant.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried.
perfect. That's
good.
all I've got. Thank you.
Good for Aitkin.
They do stop the bus in Aiken if the county's trying to catch them to get somebody on it.
That happens a lot.
There are some stories.
Stop that bus.
On to Human Resources. Bobby, welcome, Bobby.
Good morning. I have 5 items for the board from the Personnel Committee. Yes, there's lots. The first item is, we're looking for a motion to approve the Assistant Jail Administrator moving from grade 10 to grade 11. We took a look at the market. This position is very far behind the market in terms of actual, minimum, and maximum. When we look at the 2026 scale, we think that placing the position at grade 11 would bring the job class more in line with where the market is. So that's the first request. Would you
Is
like
it-
to handle these one at a time, Mr. Chairman?
What would be your preference,
I
Bobby?
think one at a time would be ideal.
I agree.
Yeah, if that's okay.
Mr. Chair, so I just have a question.
Michael, you think otherwise?
You're fine.
Are they under a,
Collective bargaining agreement?
thank you, right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
LELS.
So this would change first and then it would, I'm not understanding.
Mr. Chair,
Changing the pay-
Commissioner
the grade.
Westerland, so the county maintains the right to grade and classify positions.
Sure.
So it is not a part of the collective bargaining agreement?
It's within the parameters of
Yeah,
the agreement.
the county has the inherent managerial authority to do that. And so after reviewing the position, the county has determined that it should be a different grade or a higher grade.
Okay,
Does that answer?
Part of our classification study.
yeah, I guess.
Yep.
I just, because the two things are happening at once, kind of.
Yeah, we are also bargaining, but we don't bargain grade levels.
Okay.
Yep.
You've heard the request. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion of approval by Commissioner Sample, support. Supported by Commissioner LaVisca. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Okay, thank you. The second item is to amend the community corrections agent job title to probation agent, just for better clarity. That would be effective today. We're looking, a lot of times we hear corrections and automatically folks think jail.
Jail, that's right.
So we want to just pull the title back to what it used to be, probation agent, and
More
we think that'll
appropriate.
be more clear.
Is there a motion?
Support, I'll make that motion, Chair.
Motion of approval by Commissioner Carney, support.
Support.
Motion supported, Commissioner Sample. Any discussion?
Question?
Commissioner Westerland.
Another one. They are not, they kind of go by the state, don't they?
They go by the state.
The
They're county
state, they try to
employed.
keep with, kind of within the state.
Can
what
you
the state
answer that,
pays.
Cammie?
Do you know what I mean? Well, that's how it's been so long that,
It was at one point, sorry, good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. It was at one point pretty similar, but over the course of a couple of decades, we are pretty much all community corrections agents, probation agents, or probation officers. And I think in our county in particular, which with jailers being called correctional officers, we have even gotten some people applying for jobs who, once we interviewed them, it was pretty clear they thought they were applying for a jail position. So I think, and again, most of our clients call us POs or probation
Right.
officers, so I think it will just be a lot more clear for all
Appropriate.
involved.
Okay, okay.
Thanks, Kemi. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Great, thank you. And Cammie's also here to help with item number 3 here. A majority of the Personnel Committee recommends the following probation agent career ladder designation, which was in your packet. It would be a new policy effective September 1st, 2026. If adopted, 2 probation agents would be eligible to receive a $1 per hour wage increase on September 1 because they have met some of these career ladder requirements. And if you have any questions, I won't read the whole policy to you here, but if you have any questions about it, we'd be happy to answer them. There's 3 different levels, so they'd start at a probation agent level. They would be eligible to move to a senior probation agent and get $1 an hour throughout their career. And then a career probation agent would be another $1 an hour.
Do we know the cost?
Cammie, it's about
That'd be $2,000
$2,080 for
a year for one.
one individual, yep, per year.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Mr.
yeah, I'm
Chair?
just making
Dave?
sure we're,
To clarify, that it still does not authorize pay above the top of the range, so
Right.
nobody,
Correct.
even under this policy, would exceed what the range is authorizing.
Yep. And Cammie has input on whether or not that's approved. There's also a panel. If you'd like to hear more about that, she can explain that, but,
that's okay.
okay.
Commissioners? Motion?
I thought we got one.
Did
Did you make one, Mike? I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner Carney moves, supported Commissioner Westerland. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item 4 is a request to amend the social worker job title to social services specialist. That would also be effective today. And this is due to a legislative change. There's a new law that says if they don't hold a bachelor's degree or graduate degree in social work, the employee cannot be presenting themselves to the public as a social worker. So we will title ours Social Services Specialist, and that'll be effective immediately. That law was effective July 1.
Okay,
So the state has statutorily required people to have degrees now in order to have a job title is what it's boiled down to.
No, they just can't use, I mean, we have several staff that don't have the social work degree. You know,
Right.
maybe they have a psychology degree or,
Okay,
you know, something similar, but in a related field, but they can't use the term social worker if they don't actually have
okay.
a bachelor's degree or a graduate degree in social work.
Hang on.
Sarah, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. So what the statute says, if they were hired before July 1 of 2027, they are grandfathered in. They could use that term. However, we're not going to have people having 2 different terms, right? We're not going to have social workers and then ones that can't be called social workers if they weren't hired before July 1 and don't hold that degree, if that makes sense.
So what, instead of office support, what would they be called?
Oh, you're one ahead of us, Lori.
Oh, okay.
They'll be called social services specialists.
Okay, social service specialists, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd make that motion to change that.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Leviska approving the change, support.
Second?
Motion supported by Commissioner Westerland. Discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll call it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Now on to the OSS.
All right, next. We're looking to reorganize in the HHS department and reclassify our OSS positions, which are all grade 3s, to case aides, grade 4. It would be effective today, and the incumbents in that OSS role would move to the grade 4. They'd get a 5% or $1 an hour increase per the agreement for reclassification, whichever is greater. And if you have any questions about this reclassification, Sarah is still here. She can answer those. But we're looking to expand what staff can perform. They can do higher level case work for the supervisors. And in addition to that, we're hoping it'll slow the turnover in that job class. We have a lot of turnover in the OSS position because they start in that position and then they very immediately, promptly move into case aides or financial workers or other higher graded positions. This will probably slow the training and the retraining for Carly, who supervises.
I think it's a good move. We've gone through this year after year after year.
Yeah.
This has been an entry-level stepping stone position.
So that would be effective today as well, you said. So just for clarification, what is the budget impact, and are we within budget for the rest of the year?
We can fit it into your budget, correct?
As indicated, it is within the budgets of the department already.
Yeah, I probably have that number, Travis.
I don't have the number on me, Mr. Chair, members of the board. It is not a budgeted, it was not budgeted for. However, we feel that we can make it work within our budget, but it was not something we budgeted for 26. We did include it in our 2027 budget though, as we're planning. Mm-hmm. And we are within budget right now for 26. Yep.
I wanted to clarify. I'm not arguing against it by any means.
Yeah, and it's just over about $1 an hour. It looks like the new the OSS starting rate is around 23. The current incumbent is going to go to 24.79.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's in that same ballpark.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Who made that motion?
I don't think we had one.
Okay, who wants to make that motion?
Michael got it.
Commissioner Carney,
Second.
second Commissioner Western, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried.
Okay.
From here on, we need to do this individually. If you get the hard copies,
Sure.
We don't get the hard copies. I don't get them.
and I don't know what the online, but, you know what I'm saying? That we should have a cover page and a recommendation for each one individually.
From the personnel committee, we can do that.
And this goes back to the Andrew Carlstrom one too, where we kind of ended up.
Splitting it.
Because when I get the packets, we got 8A through 8E. There should be an individual cover sheet with the appropriate recommendations, data. So from here on, can we go back to that? Okay,
We can do that. Yep.
okay, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, board.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, now on to Health and Human Services. The SHIP update. Aaron, Hannah, welcome.
Morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. Can you hear me
Morning.
okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Testing out the microphone here. I have a quiet voice. Maybe that's better.
Perfect.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. And I am here to present just a few updates with the Statewide Health Improvement Partnership and Hannah Savinsky, almost like Kobe again, with Community or Public Health as the Community Health Specialist. So just here to speak on a few context areas. As you're familiar, we have 4 context areas in SHIP, and those are commercial tobacco-free, well-being, active living, and healthy eating. And I'm just gonna touch base on just the active living and give you an update on the City of Aitkin active transportation planning process. And then healthy eating, we completed our Aitkin Farmers Market Hub return on investment and give you a key takeaway that we found from there. The community food assessment update, our community challenges in food access, and then also we have some wins. So starting with active living, so you may have heard that the City of Aitkin has received an active transportation grant to consult with a company, and that company is called Alta, and they've created a planning team. And so I'm participating on that planning team. And just to give you a few names that is on that, or organizations that's on that planning team, is MnDOT, so the Minnesota Department of Transportation. There was quite a few representatives on that planning team. ARDC, they're an organization up out of Duluth, and they do a lot of active transportation work. Alta is the consulting company that they hired, and actually I have worked with Alta before. If you remember us doing a demonstration project in the city of Aitkin a few years back, they were the consulting company that we worked with. So nice to have them back in our area since they are familiar with the city of Aitkin. And of course, City of Aitkin staff and a few council members, Aitkin Police Department, Aitkin Chamber of Commerce, Aitkin County Highway Department. So we had a lot of representatives on that. There's many more, but I'm not gonna have that full list there for you. And then, so how this came about is that the city of Aitkin submitted a 2024 MnDOT Active Transportation Infrastructure Grant. Their hope was to get some funding to update the walking trail and then also that pedestrian bridge project. As we know, the pedestrian bridge that connects that green space that goes towards the railroad tracks and the playground is getting old and needs to be updated and kind of going to be the safety hazard here soon. So they did not receive that grant, and so the City of Aitkin Administrator Jen Thompson reached out to MnDOT and asked for some feedback, and they said, hey, how about you plan or submit an infrastructure planning grant? And so they did. They awarded that. And we heard that most people that do have this grant and resubmit for that infrastructure grant does get the funding. So we're hoping this really gives the city of Aitkin a leg up. So they are working on that. And just to mention a few milestones and what the plan will be. So they're going to identify walking and biking priorities across the community. It's going to guide future transportation and infrastructure investments. And then hopefully, like as I mentioned, strengthen the fall 2026 MnDOT infrastructure grant application so they can hopefully get that funding that they're hoping to do. Some milestones that's part of this active Aitkin transportation planning team is that we did have a project kickoff meeting that was held on July 16th. This was an error on my part, but that's this week, July 29th. There is going to be a walk audit and a bike audit. So since I've been here in my position, this is our third walk audit in the city of Aitkin, which is great because we've seen improvements. As you notice, that sidewalk across what used to be Holiday, and I think it's quick. It's a new gas station,
K,
right? Circle K, yeah. That got improved since the last time we did a walk audit. So there's improvements happening. So that's happening this Wednesday, July 29th. Bike audit, is in the morning, and then the walk audit is in the afternoon at 1:30. I will be participating in the walk audit that afternoon. And then once that is all done and Alta does, their findings and put a report, and the whole planning team will get back together on September 3rd and do an action planning summit together.
Mr. Chair, just a quick question.
Commissioner LaVisca?
Will they be looking at and addressing, and they've probably looked at it multiple times, but I don't think it's been addressed, the condition of the walking trail around the school and the park and some of those areas?
Yep,
Yeah.
correct. That's what they're hoping to get funding for
Right.
after this.
Yeah.
Is the walking trail around the schools and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
That's
'cause-
what my daughter wanted to do, some rollerblading down the trail, and I said, well, that's kind of high risk at this point.
Yeah, the lawns team has done a good job trying to repair it, but we know it's beyond repair. It
right,
needs
it's
that.
a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
What about the walking trails like around Hill City and McGregor and some of the outer cities?
Yeah.
Besides just Aitkin.
Right, yeah, so that's something that we can mention to the city of Hill City and the city of McGregor, that these applications and grant opportunities are available, and I can provide technical assistance and be part of those teams as well. And next time MnDOT has their grants available, I can definitely forward it their way and provide technical assistance if there's interest, and they are more than welcome to have that opportunity as well to do something similar that the city of Aitkin has taken this application and submitted one.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions with active transportation at all before I move on to healthy eating? Okay. So with healthy eating, for the community food assessment and learning, we have done We have done a community food assessment. We're currently trying to complete that. It's been taking longer than we had planned, but it's all good work. So one of our major efforts this year has been completing the community food assessment to better understand local food needs and identify opportunities to strengthen our food system. Over the past 7 months, we reached our goal of completing 100 cups of coffee. So we got to all of our conversations. That was a goal of 100. And that was interview with community members. And I feel like we did a really good job going cross sector of our county. So Palisade, spoke to a few individuals in McGrath, was up in Hill City. I was in McGregor and Aitkin at our food shelves. So I kind of did a pop-up coffee bar kind of a thing. And I was in our libraries. So I feel like we try to get everybody who lives in Aitkin County to participate with that. And we are now analyzing the data and we're developing recommendations that will help guide future initiatives. I'm hoping to get a first draft done by October. And then if you remember, I went to the Rural Grocery Summit back in May. So that was the Odyssey State back in Fargo, North Dakota. And just wanted to do a few key takeaways of what I learned. So one day I did a bus tour in western Minnesota, and I visited an unmanned grocery store, which is an interesting concept that is out in Evansville, Minnesota. This model provides community members with 24/7 access to groceries through a membership-based system that allows customers to shop when it is convenient for them. Members use technology such as a mobile app or key fob to access the store, select their groceries, and complete checkout through a self-service system. During scheduled hours, store owners manage operations, including stocking, inventory, and customer support, while the unmanned model allows the store to remain accessible without requiring staff to be present at all times. And when they are open during the day, of course, people can come in and have your traditional grocery shopping as well. This approach helps address challenges related to staffing and labor costs while creating a flexible shopping option for rural residents. This model combines technology, community trust, and local ownership to provide a sustainable way to maintain grocery access in a small community. And so it's a young couple that have created this. They actually turned it into a consulting business. And a lot of grocery stores in rural North Dakota are going this direction so they can keep food in their town versus people driving X amount of miles. So I thought that was an interesting concept there. The next thing that I learned, I went to Mana Food Co-op, and I also mentioned here in the slides to touch a base about the Harmony Food Co-op in Midgie because they kind of were learning from each other. But food corporations can play an important role in strengthening local food systems by providing access to shared commercial kitchen spaces. Rather than serving only as a grocery store, many co-ops invest in infrastructure that supports food entrepreneurs, local farmers, and community education. So the one that I visited in Detroit Lakes was Mana Food Co-op, where a federally funded commercial kitchen was developed to strengthen connections between the co-op and local producers. The kitchen allows farmers to process products for their own businesses or create value-added products for the co-op. The board president, Zachary Page, mentioned during the tour that the goal is for Mana to serve as a launch point for local entrepreneurs, helping producers grow their businesses while increasing opportunities to market local produce foods. And then in Harmony, Bemidji Food Co-op, that operates a state-certified commercial kitchen that is available for lease by community members, food entrepreneurs, organizations, and businesses. The kitchen serves multiple purposes, including food processing, nutrition, and cooking education. They actually have a lot of classes that is offered to the community out of that kitchen, food preservation classes, and business incubation. And they have affordable rental rates and scholarship opportunities to help reduce barriers for new food businesses while expanding access to healthy local produced foods. So these are just some examples that demonstrate how community kitchens can support entrepreneurship, expand local food processing capacity, create economic opportunities for farmers, and improve community access to locally produced foods. And then when I was at the conference, I learned about the Robinson-Patman Act. And that is a federal antitrust law designed to promote fair competition by addressing practices where businesses receive unfair pricing advantages over smaller competitors. The law has gained renewed attention as communities examine the impact of corporate consolidation, grocery pricing, and the rising cost of food. Concerns around food system consolidation highlight how purchasing power can influence who has access to affordable products and how small and local businesses compete. There is discussions at both the federal and state level including Minnesota. They're exploring ways to strengthen competition and address potential inequities within the food supply chain. For local food systems, fair competition policies may impact rural grocery sustainability, food access, and the ability of smaller retailers and producers to participate in the marketplace. The broader conversation connects economic policy with public health priorities, recognizing that structure of the food system can influence affordability, availability, and community health. And when I was listening in this breakout session, there was a lot of grocery store owners, both in Minnesota and in North Dakota, that said that this would help them because it sounds like the unfairness is occurring in the grocery store. So if it kind of goes through at the federal level, or if even in the state level it was introduced this year but didn't really go too far, it's hard to say, but maybe you might see grocery prices improve a little bit. But
Well, and I think that when like a convenience store gets a delivery, the prices are so different.
Right.
And I think if the prices were all the same for everybody and they only, marked it up 30% or whatever they had to do to keep their staff, that would help so much, just like gas.
Right.
There's a cap on gas, and there's a lot of people that are not playing the game, right. They're jacking it up so they can make some money on the weekends or whatever they're doing.
Sure.
But anyway.
Yeah, I did do an interview with Peaches by the Lake, and we did hear a little bit of this happening just with the vendors that they choose from and the prices and the case sizes and stuff like that. So
it's crazy how different it is.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I thought I would share that out because it was new information for me.
That's why a convenience store costs more. They charge you more in delivery fees, this, that, and the other, and it's like, what? I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens if anything comes about with
It
this
can
being
change.
talked about more. Yeah.
Yep.
The next thing I want to just quickly talk about is the farm stops. There is a farm stop model, and that is a year-round community-based market that connects local farmers and food producers directly with consumers. It combines the best elements of a farmer's market and a neighborhood grocery store by providing convenient, everyday access to locally grown and produced foods. Unlike a traditional farmer's market that may operate only seasonally or on specific days, farm stops create a consistent marketplace where customers can purchase local products throughout the year. A key feature of the farm stop model is the consignment approach, where farmers maintain ownership of their products until they are sold. Producers typically set their own prices and receive a larger share of the sale, while the farm stop manages the retail space, sales, and customer experience. This model allows farmers greater flexibility, reduces the need to staff a market booth every week, and creates a reliable outlet for small-scale producers. It's out of Michigan, and it's gaining traction across the nation, and it's typically abandoned gas station buildings that are turned into gas stops across the United States. So we do have the Aitkin Farmers Market Hub model, but just intriguing to hear what other models are out there for aggregating local food and getting that to consumers.
There is along that line, Sheldon, he's from Ogilvy, and he sets up a stand by the O'Reilly parking lot.
Sure.
The Hallett Antique Center.
Yep.
And that has gained in popularity.
See people there all the
Got a
time.
lot of good stuff there.
He grows a lot of his own stuff. Some, obviously, Colorado peaches
Yeah.
has shipped in, but his corn is out of this world.
I've heard of him out of that area. Yeah. Yep. I think Allison has too out of the Farmers Market Hub. Try to source from him. Yeah. So these are just what I've learned, and maybe can help future conversations and could be potential strategies to strengthen food access. And the last thing I just want to mention, or a couple more things here, is we did the Find Food Aitkin County Network was awarded a Minnesota SARE. So SARE stands for the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Mini Grant, which provided funding to contract with Mezclata Consulting. Through this partnership, Emily Reno conducted a return on investment analysis on the Farmers Market Hub. Our goal was to answer a fundamental question: what economic value does the Aitkin Farmers Market Hub generate for the local economy? While the hub strengthens community connections and supports public health, we also wanted to quantify its financial impact and tell the economic story behind the work. The purpose of the analysis was to evaluate the producer-level marketing return associated with participation in the Aitkin Farmers Market Hub and to estimate the broader economic effects within Aitkin County. Specifically, the analysis measured direct effects, so that was payments made directly to local producers through the hub, indirect effects, which is spending by producers on farm inputs and businesses, expenses within Aitkin County, and the last we measured was induced effects, which is household spending generated from farm income, which further circulates money throughout our local economy. So together, these measures provide a comprehensive picture of how the Aitkin Farmers Market Hub contributes to the local economy beyond its well-recognized community and health benefits. This slide here that you see, it highlights that every dollar invested in the Farmers Market Hub generates approximately $1.14 to $1.29 in local economic activity. While the multiplier is modest, it shows that these investments help keep dollars circulating locally. The hub is doing more than facilitating our transactions. It is strengthening connections between producers, consumers, and community partners, creating a more connected and resilient local food system. And lastly, I just want to touch base on our food access and community programs. And so you may have heard we are having some community challenges in the food access world. So Loaves and Fishes, they were a program out of the Twin Cities areas and provided community meals in both our Palisade and Aitkin areas, and that has discontinued. And I have heard that Meals on Wheels with Aitkin County Care is discontinued, and that was ended of June of 2026. And if you're not familiar with Meals on Wheels, that was hot meals, typically lunch, that is served to seniors 5 days a week within 1 mile of the city limits of Aitkin. And then all Ruby's pantry locations have also been discontinued. So what are some community wins? With the community meals, a group has been formed out of Aitkin First Lutheran Church to explore options for continuing the community meal programs in both Aitkin and Palisade. They had a few meetings the past month that I haven't been able to be at, but they're reconvening.
It's really gaining momentum.
It is. Yep. There's another meeting in a couple weeks here that I plan on attending, but I believe that there will be community meals at both locations by the sounds of it. It probably might not be at the volume that it was by having Jason Todd kind of coordinate, but it sounds promising that we will still have community meals in Aitkin and Palisade areas. And then with the partnership between myself and the Aitkin Farmers Market Hub and Aitkin First Lutheran Church, the community food shelf at Aitkin First Lutheran Church, and McGregor Area Food Shelf, we put in an application with the Minnesota Department of Agriculture for Farm to Food Security Grant, and we were awarded that. So that's going to be $50,000 that we're going to get over a duration of 2 years with no matching of funding. We get directly all that funding to purchase food. And so it primarily be with Aitkin food, or the community food shelf at Aitkin First Lutheran Church, but also we're going to source some food over to the McGregor Area Food Shelf. So we're hoping, we're just waiting for that contract to get signed with Pat and MDA, and we're going to get a first initial meeting scheduled here in August to figure out all the logistics.
Commissioner Carney?
I just also encourage you to not forget the outlying areas, Hill City. Also, they're suffering just as much as the other locations, okay?
Yep.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner LaVisca?
I was going to give kind of the same sentiments regarding like Lawler, McGrath areas, if we can make sure we're checking our needs there.
Yeah, we do. We are looking at, because we know community meals at that time was being discontinued. So it's food for the food shelves, but Allison is also looking at, similar to what we did for Food RX and what they're partnering with Aitkin County Care with the LFPA grant with those Aitkin Farm Fresh market boxes. We're looking at doing market boxes and distributing where we have those gaps and needs. So
thank you.
Commissioner Sample?
McGregor Lions does the community meal. And my other question is, when I hear you talk about the Aitkin hub for the farmers market, who all's in that hub?
For farmers?
Yeah, I mean, do we have Hill City farmers? Do we have Melmo, McGregor? I mean,
yep.
That's what I'm curious. We keep saying Aitkin hub.
We call it the Aitkin hub because it's housed underneath the Aitkin Farmers Market, but the hub really does serve cross-sector of the county. The hub produces or secures food from the farmers, and we do have farmers from Palisade and Mammal, and we source from Ogilvie. We also source all the way up and partner with the Grand Rapids Farmers Market, and it also goes to farm to school meals, so Hill City and Aitkin, and if McGregor wants to do the farm to school program, more than welcome to partner with them. So I know it sounds like Aitkin, but it's sourcing across the county and doing partnerships.
Well, I'm just saying, when people are watching this and are listening to this, that's the question I get. Everything goes to Aitkin. I disagree with that, but that's the perception that's pushed, is that it's all Aitkin. I would rather see it Aitkin County or something besides just Aitkin.
Commissioner Carney?
Yeah, one follow-up, just for edification. Palisade has a food shelf.
Yep.
Through the Assembly of God Church there. Right, they are currently providing over 27 meals, not just single meals, but the boxed food to Hill City, to the shut-ins at the Hill Lake Manor. So are you working hand in hand with them? Are you coordinating with Barb and the
I have
staff
reached
there?
out to Barb, yep, and
Okay.
I kind of asked if she learned about the super shelf model and
Right.
asked if she was interested, and they're just kind of contemplating, but we have been in touch. and-
Excellent.
Yep,
All right, thank you much.
you're welcome.
If I may, Commissioner, we're hearing you, and I appreciate all of every time we're here presenting, what are we doing in Hill City, McGregor, and Lawler,
Yeah.
and all the places. And Hannah can attest every time she comes to my door with a project, I will say, can we do this or replicate this in Hill City and McGregor? And I will continue to encourage you, if you have those champions that can come to us and are ready and wanting to put the plan in place in those communities, we're ready to work with them. Continually asking Hannah to reach out to those communities. I know that we were really wanting to set up another super shelf similar to the First Lutheran Church and the McGregor that Lynn Jacobs collaborated with us on. We want to set up another super shelf somewhere. We need that readiness. So if your food shelves are ready, Hannah has reached out to, I think, all of them. And it's the readiness and the coordinator ready to coordinate that. So happy to continue to explore those options.
Mr. Chair.
Awesome job. Awesome.
Commissioner LaVisca?
That's what kind of, I always mention, are we reaching out to these areas? And I know that we are. I'd just like to reiterate
Yes.
that our county is getting the information out there. To a certain point, it falls on those communities also to reach back and become a partner. We can't just do it all. These communities also have to be a part of it, but we get the information out there.
Yes, and on that note, stay tuned for potentially some exciting food access work in the McGregor area, and that came from a presentation that Hannah did at the Aitkin Association of Townships meeting, and then they followed up with us and said, "Hey, we saw your presentation. We like that motto. What can we do to make something happen here?" So
And then-
I'm not sure if that's part of your presentation, but
Sorry, that just popped up. You mentioned the Association of Townships, and that's a great place to do presentations like this, but also, I have the Rice River Seniors Club that are, I think, the first Wednesday every month at noon, and they're good to reach out to, because they have a lot of say and a lot of reach in that area.
yeah, that's great.
I just want to say that some of the farm people that I said, don't be afraid to drop off,
Absolutely.
fresh produce at some of these food shelves,
Right,
because they're not going to say no.
right.
We're trying to water our corn, but it hasn't been easy.
Yeah, and where the partnership from McGregor Area Food Shelf came from is that we heard the coordinator drives up to Grand Rapids or even to Aitkin just because of the limited variety at Ukra's just to get produce. So that's why we heard the need and we're like, hey, we're buying produce from our farmers. Let's work and connect and collaborate and get that produce over to your food shelf too.
Not
So-
everybody can come to Aitkin to,
Right. And I know Barb's probably experiencing something similar in Palisade too. So they all are. But yeah, it's just trying to connect and get those gaps, collaborate, and do the best that we can with the capacity.
Yep.
We're gonna have to.
You guys are doing the best you can do.
Yep.
Great work.
Doing great work.
And I have a question, the $50,000 grant from MDA, how and to whom is this distributed?
That is going to be directly with First Lutheran Church. They're going to receive that funding, and then we're figuring out those logistics, but they're the financial host of that through the church. And then I believe there's going to be some kind of invoicing processing with McGregor Area Food Shelf, because we're going to have to everything like that. But it's going to be, the good news is we have the Aitkin Farmers Market Hub, and they track everything really well. They've worked with MDA, and MDA already says this process works fantastic. The invoicing is great. So directly going to answer your question to First Lutheran Church, and then there would be some kind of a logistics figured out between the two food shelves for tracking with all that
Well,
priorities.
First Lutheran is a fiscal agent,
Yep,
so to
correct.
speak.
Yeah, I'm assuming they'll have some sort of MOA. So there was, we looked at this grant a few times, and then we were going to let it go because the logistics were cumbersome. And then we were like, we need to figure out how to make this happen. And the challenge was they have to pay for the product up front and be reimbursed. It's a reimbursement model. And so McGregor was not able to do that. They didn't have the funds available to purchase the product and get reimbursed. First Lutheran Church said, we'll figure out how to make that happen. And then McGregor will reimburse them for what they get.
Okay.
So that was the initial challenge with this grant, and we were able to
And we
work
had
through that.
to apply within 4 weeks, so it was
Good to
a
know.
fast-moving grant.
Well, we know, Brett, you know people from the Department of Ag. Get on them. They should have given more money.
And the last thing, I just want to end quick, that I know I mentioned the community food assessment. We did have a survey out at the Aitkin County Fair, and we wanted to better understand the impact of recent changes in local food access. So we conducted that additional survey, and the results reinforced what we have been hearing throughout the assessment process. Participants indicated that they were moderately to extremely concerned about local food access, with 75 reporting that they were extremely concerned about the issue. We also talked about community food resources. The most commonly used or resources where participants knew someone who had used them were community meals and Ruby's Pantry, each receiving 12 responses. Meals on Wheels was mentioned last frequently with 4 responses. So these findings help us better understand which resources are most visible and utilized in our community. So we're hoping we can take that survey and get a few more responses just to learn a little bit more.
Excellent presentation. Any closing questions, comments, commissioners?
Comment, Mr. Chair. I love that our community health focuses on being active and eating healthy. Rather than pushing medications and covering symptoms, we're teaching people how to heal your body and be healthy.
Preventive measures.
That's
Right.
that's awesome.
And that is what SHIP is all about, that preventing the chronic diseases.
State health improvement.
Great job, Anna.
Thank you, everybody, for the questions and conversation. Have a good rest of your day.
Aaron?
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. On to facilities. Jim, welcome.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right. First up, we've been working with FEMA for a few months, trying to get approval for these buildings.
You mean years?
Well, just trying to be kind. And we went out for bids for the boat and water building. We received bids for the building of the new boat and water building, plumbing and heating to add the wash bay on the end of it. We also had a proposal for the demo of the old building that sits on that site. When that was approved by the board, all the approvals were pending the FEMA extension. Well, FEMA, believe it or not, isn't moving quite as fast as we had hoped.
Go figure.
Yeah. So we have not received that extension yet. I'm in weekly contact with Caleb at the state, who is our go-between with FEMA. He is probably twice as frustrated as we are, because I think he probably hates seeing my name pop up in his email, but he always responds. But we're working through it to see where that extension is. I'm here to ask, if the commissioners would be in favor of just issuing the contract for the demo of that building due to the fact we need to get the building down. Our highway department is taking the cement out. They have to build the pad to get ready for the building. And if you look at your calendar, we're just about to the 1st of August. It's getting late in the construction season to get these completed. So that is my ask, if that is something we would consider.
Commissioner Carney?
More to the administrator. Sir, what does our accounts look like if we front this money?
Well, this would only be the $20,000, and so that's well within our capacity to
To get
do.
rid of the building.
Right.
I'd make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sample
I'll support.
approving the request. Motion supported by Commissioner Carney. Discussion.
Question?
Commissioner Westerland?
Why didn't we do this a long time ago?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know why, or is there some sort of,
If we don't get the extension, there's always the possibility FEMA could pull all the funding.
well, that's what I'm,
And so
Right.
if we tear down the building, then do we have funds to build a boat and water building without the FEMA money, down the road? That's been the big hinge on this whole thing.
well, we didn't get that much for that boat and water building we lost before. It was just a
I
shed.
believe it was 83,000, right in that.
Between
They come and look at it?
So, yeah, that was insurance money that we received.
Right.
And then we did get FEMA money on top of that to rebuild.
Do we have the money? If FEMA come back and said, fine, guys, sorry, with the budget, we're not gonna fund this. Can we build the boat and water garage
We
with our
would
reserve
have-
funding?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we would have to find the money
Okay.
to do that. We have some insurance proceeds from the 3 buildings, right?
Yes, from four buildings that we lost during the, yep,
But we'd have to make a different plan.
Right, exactly.
yep.
But I think our conclusion is waiting indefinitely to demo the
not the
building
answer.
is gonna put us in a worse position whether FEMA comes through or not.
Okay.
Because they could
I'm
come through with
comfortable
this
with that.
extension, but then if we're not ready to build, we could need another one.
Right, and that's because our extension that we requested was for until the middle of November.
Right.
And that was under the recommendation from the state to put it there because I wasn't sure if I should ask for an extension that covers just the physical building, or are you asking for an extension that covers all of the paperwork that follows at the end of the building? And it was said we are asking for an extension for the physical building. So that is where it was. One thing I want to add before you vote, if it is approved to demo that building, there is going to be a small amount spent on reworking the fence where the impound lot is, that type of thing. I have giving the go-ahead to Lundberg's Plumbing and Heating. They were the low bidder to get their stuff sent off to the state for approval so that when we are ready, that can take 2 weeks, it can take 8 weeks.
Sure.
Not knowing, so I've got them going. I have also put in the application to get a new gas service run out there, which typically they don't charge anything to run a new gas service. You never know, but typically they don't, but I have put in for that application
I think they will.
as well. So I'm trying to keep everything moving that I can to get this done as quick as we can. It's just, I feel waiting for FEMA to come back with this extension before we can get that building going is gonna really put us in a bind.
Further discussion? Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Thank you. Along with that, just so you know about the 2 buildings down at the fairgrounds, the industrial 2 building is going on the east end of it's going in line with the horse barn, livestock barns down in that area. That pad is been completed a while ago. the highway department left it within an inch of what needs to be finished height for pouring. I am on the agenda for the Board of Adjustment in August to get the variance for the maintenance building. And that variance is because of the distance from the county road right there. So I've done all the paperwork. I've gotten on set up for that meeting, so I'm trying to take care of that. We actually do have the building permit already for the industrial 2 building. I have that done, and as soon as we go through the Board of Adjustment process, I will secure the building permit for the maintenance building. So that's kind of where we're at with these projects.
Is that in the floodplain?
Yes, it's
All in.
Aitkin County, it's
I
fairgrounds.
still never understand why Aitkin County has to go through all the permits process. Do you have to pay the money?
No,
Okay.
we don't pay the money, but
So
we
that
still go
helps.
through all the process because,
Because the state doesn't have to do any of that.
yeah. But Aitkin County, being it's Aitkin County asking for it, I don't feel that we should
Right.
have anything different than our citizens have. They have to go through the same process.
Yes, they do.
So that's why we're,
Very good.
yep, we're doing it all the same way, filling out the same applications, so.
Good.
Yep. So, so that's a bit of the update on the FEMA buildings where we're at. Next thing is the Health and Human Services. A week ago yesterday, we started moving people in. A week ago tomorrow, started doing business with the public coming into the building. Things are going very smooth. I believe the majority of the people are moved in. Everybody is out of VFW. Everybody is out of the other building that we rented in town. And the people that were mostly working remote have been coming back in at the end of last week and this week. We've been doing it in small groups, roughly 10 a day. And the reason for that is to give IT a chance to keep up with hooking up all of the computers. My maintenance staff is fantastic. You do not want to see us hooking up technology. So we leave that to IT. We can tear it out. We can tear it out in no time, but getting it hooked back up is another story.
Chris doesn't want to see you hooking it up either.
He does not.
No.
Yeah. There's a reason my office is right across from IT's because the people that need the most help are the ones that you put the closest.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So, so that's been going very smooth. No major hiccups as everybody's moving in. Talking with Sarah, they're just keeping a list. There's always small things, a few things that we've got to hang. There's things that they're noticing that we're just kind of making a list and we're just taking care of. There's a couple trades that still have some punch list items that are coming back through, getting that wrapped up. Travis from Contegrity Group is actually going to be on site this afternoon, kind of doing a walkthrough,
Good.
see what else we need to take care of. We are trying to wrap up final bills so we can see exactly where the project came in. It's always funny with contractors when you say time to get your final sign off, final paperwork in. They're like, "Oh, well, I still have this bill," and then they've got to get it submitted and we've got to approve it and did the work happen. So we're just finalizing a few of those items. Getting that wrapped up, and it's probably going to be a month and a half or 2 months before everything is finalized dollar-wise, but I will be back to give you a final report on exactly where it came out dollar-wise. Budget-wise, we're still sitting good, and so, yeah, we're in good shape there. And along with that, I just want to commend my staff, the folks that have working for me. If you look at our job descriptions, there's one piece that said other duties as assigned. I think we could pretty much get rid of everything else in their job descriptions because we've been all over the map with the things that they've been doing, and they just step up, do them, no questions asked. Yep. We're busy as people are getting moved out. Now we're trying to get those 2 buildings cleaned up so we can get them turned back over. And there's all this stuff. It's like, where do we go? What do we do with it? And that's going well, getting that cleaned up. And just a little thing I want to share. We had a third party in here that had to do a 5-year inspection on our sprinkler system. And Mr. Minke sent me an email showing something that he noticed on the bottom of it. And it's that third party had mentioned how clean the facility was, just getting into every place, even the back rooms, everything like that. And with everything else we've had going on, for those things to still be getting cleaned on a regular basis to keep up on it, that's quite a feat. I'm very proud of them. That's something that, and that's not me telling them. That's them noticing. Hey, we still gotta do our regular jobs and get that done. So.
And the grounds, the lawn.
Yeah.
It's manicured like a golf course.
Yeah, you're going to notice it's a little bit long right now, but I'm afraid if we cut it in this heat, it's going to turn brown. So I think that's tomorrow, right before it's supposed to rain, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's
great job.
They do a very good job. So, any questions about the Health and Human Services building?
Commissioners, Sarah, anything you want to add?
Can I get in there and take a good look at it after the meeting here today?
Absolutely. Yep.
White glove.
White glove, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, just stop down to my office and I'll walk you through with it.
All right, perfect.
No, nothing really big to add. I just think it's great to be back in. People were so excited yesterday. The break room was just full of people and they're laughing and just talking so positively about the building. And, just a lot of work has went into this, and I'm very proud of the building, and I'm just very thankful for the work that Jim and his crew have done, and Chris and his team. It's just been a lot of teamwork, and so I'm excited to be back.
Welcome back home.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. If there's
Jim?
nothing else, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Pardon? Oh, sure. Let's take a 5-minute break here.
Sorry, Chris, didn't mean to put you out, but.
Not a problem at all. Oh, Lord. Natives are restless today.
I think it's the Order. On to Chris. Welcome, Chris. Out-of-state travel?
Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Chair. Yes, what I am requesting is to allow one of my technicians, Vladimir Orikoff, to attend a conference in Denver, Colorado. The conference is on the program called Splunk. Splunk is what we use as our security incident and event monitoring tool. It's basically our log, Splunk. It's our log capturing. So every time you do something on a computer system, there's a log made. When you log into the computer, there's a log made. When you access a file, there's a log made. When you delete a file, there's a log made. All that has to be captured and stored and searched. Splunk is the tool that allows us to do that.
As mentioned, this has been not just a spontaneous, it's already been budgeted.
So I don't have a line item specifically for this conference in particular. I do have a training budget that I maintain every year.
Right.
So this would fall under that training budget.
Absolutely. I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, a motion to approve by Commissioner Samples, support? Support. Motion supported, Commissioner Leviska. Any discussion? Best of luck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
It was easy,
All right.
wasn't it?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chris.
Hey, Chris, are you going to lunch after this, or are you gonna be, is somebody gonna be around?
I will wait for you.
Okay, I'll come right down afterwards. Oh, okay.
On to second quarter budget update. David Menke.
Thank you. So we're halfway through the year, so just doing a quick check-in. In your packet, there were 4 charts. Chart number 1 shows the major funds. And if you look at the general fund, we're at 48% revenue and 49% spent, which is really good for the middle of the year. Just looking ahead and making some projections. Earlier in the meeting, you had the investment report in the consent agenda. If you looked at the interest earnings, you would probably draw the conclusion that they're going to underperform budget this year. As of the end of June, we had $363,000 of interest earnings, and we have $900,000 in the budget. So just, as we start to get into the second half of the year, some of those trends start to show themselves, and that's one that will work to our disadvantage. In the Health and Human Services Fund, you see that expenditures are at 78%. You'll notice when we get to chart 4 that that's not a problem. That's really driven by the building and paying from reserves for that construction. You'll see we have Forest Development and LLCC on this chart. It's the first time I've included them in my quarterly reports. I know there's an interest in those funds and there's some deficits in those funds, and so I thought it would be good to track those a little closer. And on the LLCC fund, we're probably, again, mid-year, you start to look ahead and say, how are we going to end the year? We're probably going to end up looking a little stressed on the maintenance side of that and on the repairs at LLCC, particularly for the Garins on the heat system. On chart number 2, this is looking at the revenues in the general fund departments that generate revenues. Everything is looking as it should at this point in the year. You'll notice that the sheriff's enforcement maybe looks a little low. The largest single source of that is police state aid, and that just has not been paid yet, so we really don't have a concern about anything on the revenue side in those departments.
What about community corrections?
They're okay.
Yeah, they're tracking just
65%.
Yeah. And again, they get some state aid monies that, depending on when they're paid, it may look a little ahead or below of the point in the year.
All right, that was.
Chart number 3. So this is the general fund major departments. And so those are departments that have a budget of $100,000 or more. For the most part, everything looks pretty good. If we look at court administration, you'll see that's at 56%, a little bit above 50%. Back in January, we adjusted the fee for the court-appointed attorneys from $75 to $125, and so that's playing into that a little bit. And then on the planning and zoning, you'll see that's tracking a little bit ahead. And that was the geo-permit software was a little bit more than budgeted.
Right.
But there really are no concerns at this point in those departments. And then on chart number 4, this is the detail of the health and human services by major division. So public health, income maintenance, and social services. And they all look really good at this point of the year. And then that total overall is at 78% because of the building expenditures. So that's as expected. So again, at this point of the year, no significant concerns. We'll expect, some areas will track a little above budget, some will track a little below budget. Are there any questions?
Commissioners? Pretty much on target. Dave, anything else?
If I could just give an update, the county has been served with notice of a lawsuit. It is Candace Mickelson individually and on behalf of all others similarly situated versus Aitkin County and David Minke acting in his capacity as the county administrator. And this tracks back to the data breach that we had in Health and Human Services. And so we have submitted this to MCIT. We'll have defense coverage through them. They have not assigned an attorney yet. I talked to Jeff Henches yesterday at MCIT, and they said they will do that this week. And so as soon as they assign an attorney, we will start the process of responding to the lawsuit.
Who was Candace who?
Candace Mickelson.
Oh.
I don't know that person. They apparently were someone whose data was part of the breach. So there's nothing for the board to do at this point, but.
Wasn't there quite a few though?
Yes, and that's why it's potentially a class action lawsuit.
Okay.
So.
Is that a daycare center?
I do not know
Okay.
So just for your information, statute requires that you be advised when there's a lawsuit, so.
Thank you. Anything else administratively? If not, on to committee reports. Counterclockwise, Lori?
Me? Okay. Well, Mille Lacs Lake is looking pretty healthy. It's gonna stay the same limit, the 3-bag limit, and I think it's 21 to 23. We have a couple of retirements. Brad Parsons has been with them for 40 years. He is retiring this year. We don't know who the new guy will be yet, so it should be interesting. But anyway, they finally, he actually gave a little speech about how the MILFAC group has helped them. As contentious as it can get, we always tried to respect each other, and it wasn't always the best, but they finally have started to listen a little bit more, which is hard to get the DNR to do, but. So, let's see. I had planning and zoning. That was very interesting when Michael was gone.
Thank you.
Then we had the EAW. CARE did not meet. We had the Community Health Board on the 16th. We went through a lot. We went through some of the job descriptions, or we got paperwork on it. We were supposed to read through it, and I think it looks good. I believe we approved it. Still gonna be working on the consulting group that we went through. Hopefully, we meet in August in Koochichang County. We're gonna try to look at some of that stuff, and we'll go through our strategic planning. It's always a very informative meeting and fun, and it's a sleepover, so we have a pretty good time there. I think that's all I had.
Okay, thanks, Lori.
Yep.
Travis?
Well, my Julys are usually pretty uneventful for meetings. I did have, Lakes and Pines, just kind of went over grants they're still looking for and waiting to get some reimbursements on. They're not overly concerned right now with legislative updates and things like that. They think they're still doing pretty good. And then just a mention that here in September, October, is when, applications open for heat assistance again, so make sure that information gets out. That's all I had.
Commissioner Sample?
The AIS has been canceled for this month. We didn't have a meeting with the opioid. The HRA, they're at over 90% occupancy. I have a meeting with the director of HRA and Congressman Stauber
Nice, Teresa.
this afternoon. And that meeting is gonna be mainly about how St. Louis County took 500 pieces of property off of theirs and turned it over in the workforce housing, not Section 8 housing, workforce housing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that meeting's about this afternoon, is because HRA has a twofold mission. Their federal mission is Section 8 housing and affordable housing / workforce housing. And we need to push in that direction that, you keep getting the pushback. Well, where do we have land? Kimberly has some nice pieces of property to build on that would be a great asset. And they go, oh, that's too far away. No, it's not. The average person drives 20 miles a day, commutes to work.
That's right.
We need to get that put back on the tax rolls.
Somebody's gonna prefer to travel 20 miles a day to work rather than 40.
Well,
You know,
I drove 92 miles one way to work.
But I do want to reiterate what you said, and it's a good point, that when we say affordable housing, we're talking workforce housing.
Yes.
A lot of people can say affordable housing, Section 8. No, there's Section 8. Affordable housing is workforce housing, and that's our priority.
We need to get it back on the tax rolls. And I got my airport meeting tomorrow night. The Corps of Engineers, we're doing something a little different this time, and I like what we're gonna do this time. We're gonna meet at the Big Sandy Lodge on Thursday, and we're getting in boats. And we're gonna go to one of the property owners that's already been surveyed and hear their concerns. And that includes the townships that are affected, the lake associations, and the Corps called me yesterday and asked me about the, if I'd say something for the county. And all I'm gonna do is reiterate what the county, our resolution we passed, asking them to give the land back to the taxpayer, but keep the flowage rights. And that's my meetings.
Okay, thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Carney?
All right, I'll make this short and sweet. There's government training on the 29th up here at the Government Center for Lunch and Learn. NACO, wonderful conference, a lot learned. If you have any specific questions, just pull me offline. Health and Human Services, IT upgrades is not just a Minnesota issue, it's a state issue, or the whole region issue. It's being addressed. With the upcoming budgets, a lot of the conversation was throwing dollars at your budget to compensate for the federal cuts and the state cuts is not the answer. All you're gonna do is dig yourself a hole. So we'll just have to take a look at how we want to proceed. Data centers were a major topic, and that they're not the evil beast that's being projected out there. Just have to know how to manage and work them, and keeping transparency to the community. Veterans, a huge initiative is being pushed through this year's NACO conference on veteran suicide. There's a lot to be addressed. There's a lot of concerns. The number's not going down. As you
Going up.
It's going up. So, platforms, if you want to know what NACO's platforms are, it's in one of the packages I gave the administrator today. stop by his office and you can check that out. Most of the rest of my meetings are future. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. We had the Aitkin Airport meeting, and the bids were sent out, and they should be back in a couple of weeks. The fly-in is August 23rd, and hopefully that'll have a good turnout. The new runway is just about complete, almost as we speak.
Wow, that didn't take long.
Awesome, yeah.
And they were even working last weekend
Money talks.
on it. So looks good. And from the air, I have an aerial photograph of it. I should have brought that. But the striping lights are going in this week. So once that's done, fuel sales will increase here. Ka-ching, ka-ching.
McGregor's still cheaper, Mr. Chair.
Is it? Okay. You're probably getting
But you have
business.
to drive to Aitkin to get from McGregor, though.
You have a service card too.
But things are going well. And again, the terminal building bids were sent, or solicitation of bids were sent out, and we'll see what happens. Aitkin Economic Development Authority met as a relatively brief meeting, awarded a storefront loan to Smoky Jake's, the barbecue place. And that was for signage. They're going to put, if you're familiar with it, one of these signs, illuminated, whatever, where they can rotate their menu specials for the day. Mm-hmm. You can see it from the intersection, so. That was that. And yesterday, we had a very lengthy budget meeting, the first of probably several. It's gonna be a long road without a turn here, so. Just initial, lot of questions, and we'll keep you posted. I don't know if Travis or anything on
Well, like when we usually start, it always looks ugly when you look at those first numbers. It's got everything included before we start making cuts, so. there's,
Year after
like
year after
Mark
year.
said, a long road, so.
David, anything on it?
No, I think you've characterized it accurately.
Long road without a turn. Is there anything else?
Yes, who's going to the Lake Summit on Friday? You
Oh,
are?
is it Friday?
I think it's Thursday.
No,
Oh, is
I
it
believe it's
Thursday?
Thursday. I was planning on going, but I will step back if another commissioner.
I'm
would
gonna
like
be
to
out at
jump
Well,
in.
I think we posted it, so all commissioners could go.
Oh, he did post it.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
then I'll be there. I have it on my calendar.
So who else is going?
Yeah, 4 to 6:30 at the Moose Lodge.
Okay,
That's right.
I'll be there too.
All right, I will see you there.
Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Commissioner Carney moves, Commissioner Westland supports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Meeting is adjourned.
You must be running for reelection.
Thank you.
Made it short.
Short and sweet.
Sent out an
I'm coming
updated
over.
date.
Hey, this Saturday, you're all